Hi everyone, my name is SIGCHI. I'm an assistant professor at the Digital Design Department at the SIGCHI University of Copenhagen in Denmark, and I will present this pictorial that I co-authored with Pedro Sanchez, Tom Jenkins, Nora Howell, Lawrence Bohr, and Aphrodite Bijuni, titled Fabulating Biodata Futures for Living and Knowing Together. In this pictorial, we focus on biodata, data about people's bodies and behaviors, which is increasingly pervasive both in HCI research and in consumer products. As biodata design research continues to grow and expand, we asked, what are emergent directions within biodata design research? What biodata design futures can we imagine and like? Motivated by broader ethical concerns around biodata, such as agendas of oppressive surveillance, we use Fabulation as a way of imagining alternative futures of how biodata design research can support longer-term collaborations of being with that work towards justice among human and non-human bodies. With this motivation as a starting point, we held a workshop that consisted of 3 sessions, convening biodata researchers and practitioners to discuss emergent possibilities for biodata design research. Participants presented a recent biodata design artifact and its relation to the workshop topic. Collaboratively annotating the projects on Miro, we began extracting ways in which each project addresses the body, ways of measuring and aggregating biodata, and the goals of doing so, spanning on 3 emerging directions: feminist perspectives, health and affective contexts, and post-anthropocentrism. Through further discussions, we developed and articulated findings and summarized our experiences. One main finding was that existing work on biodata already starts pushing the boundaries of what counts as biodata materials, troubling in different ways what counts as bio, what counts as body, and what counts as data. Through further analysis after the workshop, we, as authors, synthesized 3 themes for biodata design research. Theme 1 refers to expanding notions of biodata and bodies, including what counts as biodata and what counts as a body to measure. Theme 2 refers to attending to a greater diversity of human bodies and experiences with biodata, especially in ways that challenge existing regimes of measurement of meaning-making. Theme 3 refers to fostering biodata collaborations between human and other non-human bodies, living, knowing, and collaborating together. In our pictorial, we provide a description for each theme, and we exemplify each through existing biodata research projects. But how can these themes in the form of conceptual moves around biodata design research be generative for design researchers, and which paths can they show for future research in this domain? Attending such questions and aiming to reflect on the generativity of these themes, we followed 3 steps for reimagining and crafting utopian fabulations for future biodata design research. We began by collecting aesthetic inspiration from artistic and other projects by searching online resources. We focused on visual material that extends notions of body, bio, and data in relation to the 3 themes extracted from the workshop, and we created a visual collage on a Miro board. Then we combined the images and brainstormed on the workshop themes through the lenses of scale, collaboration, and the crafting different measures, which led us to constructing 3 design spaces: nurturing biodata for collaborative survival, diffracting data doubles, and cohabiting in biodata publics. These titles started to suggest rich narratives and formed the ground for our fabulations. Having them as a starting point, each author wrote at least 1 textual narrative. Organically, the fabulations created became a thread that started to weave a collaborative fabric of utopias surrounding biodata futures. The final author, a professional illustrator, developed the imagery that accompanies its fabulation in close collaboration with the other authors. This collaboration emphasized phrases and terms that were reinterpreted as illustrations. This should be read in combination with the fabulation text, as an integral part of the Fabulations, demonstrating how the elements living in those worlds are entangled together. We describe the genesis of the world where the Fabulations take place, setting the stage for reimagining communication and knowledge relations as ongoing and entangled practices of care between humans and non-humans. I will read here a short excerpt of the presentation of the world in which our three designed Fabulations take place. We use data for recording, remembering, knowing, but sometimes we forget that we can know without data. We can know the seasons by the behavior of the trees, flowers, and insects. Just like we can know our feelings and bodily rhythms by examining the surface of our skin, the pulsing of our veins, the pains we feel, as well as the pleasures. At some point we thought we would eliminate the guesswork, and we created the silicon-based agents. They could read us, they could read nature, and they could even read each other reliably and methodically. The readings, we call them biodata. We did not get rid of the silicon agents, of course. We've grown too attached to them, but we had to change how to design them, how we get to know and design with nature, and how we know and design ourselves. We started growing gardens instead. Not literal gardens, but metaphorical ones. We started designing collaborations between humans, creators of all kinds, and silicon agents. In the first fabulation that we present, that takes place in this world, humans work with spiders or critters, and critters work with humans to materialize data about human and critter bodies and to weave them together with data gathered from the environment. This fabulation explores more than human collaboration between humans and spiders at the relatively small scale of the everyday, refiguring the fear and killing humans have directed towards spiders into an ongoing collaboration of constructing webs and sharing space. Ecological data are entangled with bodily data. Connections and relations are made, and patterns over time are observed, discussed, and analyzed collaboratively by critters and humans. They work together to act as natural sensors, aiming to nurture mutual, deep understandings of ecologically entangled past, present, and futures. The second fabulation, Diffracting Selves, resists the prevalent push to discover the truth, whether scientific or internal and subjective, of bodies through biodata. Rather than inner or outer truth, there is only interference and diffraction. Body, biosensor, and data become one. Control becomes complex. This fabulation imagines expanding notions of biodata and bodies and implants as designing for and intentionally increasing diversity of human bodies and experiences. What are the bodies being sensed? Is a body a material body or an accumulation of its data traces? How many bodies or data doubles exist out there? Can data doubles help in forging alliances with other bodies, both human and non-human? The third and last fabulation, collective affect, shifts scales with biodata across multiple dimensions, both in terms of individual bodies, as well as how those bodies relate to one another. Biodata is not usually something we share with one another, but is still a thread that weaves us together as members of a biodata public. A biodata public imagines enrolling biodata in attending to community-level issues. Biodata is always political and supports communities of shared practices and policy. Expanding biodata to understand the community as a biome for living lets us approach biodata as part of a fundamental condition for humans to thrive inside and take seriously how seemingly low-level information about health might become part of future infrastructures. The fabulations can be read in our pictorial. The stories are combined with rich illustrations which together draw the reader into the fabulated world in intellectual, emotional, and aesthetic ways. They illustrate how biodata takes on roles in this new mode of knowing as part of nurturing interspecies collaboration, as part of troubling the border between self and the world, and as part of building communities with others, Overall, the chart ways of engaging ethical and biopolitical stakes of designing with biodata. Rather than operating as a complete set being directly representative of our concerns, we see the Fabulations to be worthwhile as things to think with, serving as points of departure for reflecting on, posing questions and pointing to particular critical issues pertaining to ethics, biopolitics and justice in relation to biodata research. To sum up, in this pictorial we offer small, partial and incomplete, yet radically hopeful reimaginings of biodata futures. With this, we aim to open a space for exploring expansive and alternative design research direction with and through biodata. Thank you for listening. We hope you read our pictorial. Thank you.